Hello, my name is Valeriana Quevedo, and I used to date Frank Castellano in the early 90s. I can't be there for his memorial, and I thought that this was the best way I could think of to show how much I care and loved Frank. And before I start telling our story, I'd like to send my sincere condolences to the Castellano family and any of Frank's friends who might be watching this. I know you all feel the same way I do. So we met in the early 90s. He was working, we were both working in South Lake Tahoe. I was working at Harrah's, and I believe he was working at Harrah's as well. And maybe it was another hotel he was at, but very close on the strip, on the main strip. So after work, in the show I was dancing in, I got a job in a place called the Lookout Cafe, which was at the very small airport in South Lake Tahoe that I believe was owned by John Denver. Well, one night, I'd never met Frank. One night he comes in and he was sitting about maybe 15 feet away from me at the bar, having his beer, and just really staring at me very intently. I thought to myself, because every time when you're performing and you look at different people in the audience, some people are talking, some people are drinking, some people are laughing, some people are really paying attention. And Frank was really paying attention. And I thought to myself, because every time I looked back in his direction, I thought, he's got to be a musician or a singer or something in the entertainment business, field. So at the end of my set, I went up to him and I introduced myself. And I said, you've got to be a musician because you're just paying way too much attention to be just a normal person. And he said, yeah, I'm a singer and a guitarist. And I said, oh, well, you have to sit in. Would you like to sit in on the next set? And he said, sure. So we talked for a bit, and then the next set I invited him up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Frank Castellano. And he got up and started to sing, and I think he brought his guitar too, come to think of it, that time. He came a few times, but that time, oh my God, when I heard his voice and he started singing, I lost it. I thought, oh my God, this guy's so talented. And anyway, so he sat down, and my daughter happened to be there on that evening, and she says, Mom, you guys could be like Sonny and Cher. She was little. She goes, you could be like Sonny and Cher. And I go, and then I started thinking, maybe I could have a duet with this guy and we can make some money together. Besides the fact he's so cute, The thing about Frank that I remember very, very well is that when you spoke with him, had a conversation with him or anything with him, he always had this sweet smile on his face. I mean, he was just, the eyes smiled and his lips smiled, and he just exuded happiness. And that's what I fell in love with. Of course, I fell in love with his voice once I heard him sing as well, and his guitar playing. Oh my God, I was in the stars every time he performed. So then he invited me to his shows, and I went to see him play guitar and sing at a place he worked at. And we just kept going back and forth, seeing each other perform. And that one of those weekdays, I used to go back to San Francisco on Mondays for my one day off. And but I wanted to go see him before I left. I had to see him before I left, and so I went to where he worked and said goodbye. And it was just, I don't know, there was just this connection, even though we really had just seen each other perform, spent very little time speaking, talking with each other. There was just this really wonderful connection. So I went home for that day, came back, couldn't wait to see him again. So we started hanging out. We didn't really work together yet. We had just hung out together. and had a lot of fun together. And I was going to sing actually and open up for Jay Leno back at that time. And he went with me shopping, and I tried on different outfits, and he said, no, yes, no, yes. And finally I put one on, and he went, oh, that's it, that's it. You look great. So, but he was so helpful, you know. And that's how I know, I think that is, I know he was brought up with 3 sisters, and I think those little things that he did, like help me, let me know if I looked okay. I think he got that from being with 3 women, 4 actually, counting his mom. Hi Esther, if you look at this video, I wanted to thank to thank Teresa for sending me Frank's CD and helping me contact and send a card to Esther and his mom, and who I remember very well, and just everyone who helped me connect with Frank. I did call him, thank God, I called him 2 days actually before he passed away, and we were able to talk on the phone. And although he was, I think, on morphine, heavy doses of morphine, he was able to make me laugh. We were able to have a pretty decent conversation, and he said, then at the end I said, well, you know, you're probably tired, you need some rest. And he went, oh, he goes, well, it's okay, I've been sleeping this whole time anyway. I've been sleeping. So he still made me laugh. Speaking of laughing, so back to Lake Tahoe. I couldn't wait to get back to him in Lake Tahoe, and then my show was over that I was in, and I had to return to San Francisco. So I invited him. I said, why don't you come with me to San Francisco? Maybe we can get work together, and we get along so well, and we've been going out, so it just makes sense. And he moved with me to San Francisco, and the minute my parents met him, and my whole family actually, they loved him. And he made everyone laugh, of course, because Frank was a very funny guy. Those are the things that people always remember, is he was really funny. He was really funny, and he was very handsome. So I remember the look on my mother's face when she met Frank. She had this very almost sad, strange look I'd never seen on her before. I'd never seen that expression. And Frank went out of the living room where we were sitting, and when he left, I said, Mom, why do you have a funny look on your face? Are you sad? Is something wrong? And she said, no, he looks like my brother. And the funny thing about it is, he does resemble my Uncle Roy. He has the same mouth, very similar eyes, and I wish I had a picture here, but it's pretty uncanny. So my mom, of course, was sort of like so emotional around him because her brother had passed away, and it was sort of like her brother's spirit was sort of in Frank. My mom was very spiritual that way, in thinking that angels bring things to you and send messages from people who are not with you anymore. I believe the same thing. In any case, Frank and I started working together. We worked in San Francisco, we worked in Daly City, and mostly in the Bay Area. And I remember one time I was singing, and I like singing sort of gospel, soulful type songs, standards though. And Frank was behind me playing guitar. He was sort of on the side, but slightly behind me. And he said, all right, you go, Mahalia. You know, Mahalia Jackson is a gospel singer. And I'm trying to be serious. And he just would do that to me all the time, make me laugh, which just made my whole life complete. And from the bottom of my heart, I mean, there's so much more I could say about Frank. He ended up moving back to Ohio. We kept talking on the phone, and I said, you got to come back to San Francisco sometime. And he was pretty happy in Lake Tahoe. I mean, he was pretty happy in Ohio. But we always continued to talk on the phone and text message each other. I would like his certain things that he put up on Facebook. And thank you so much, for the CD I got from his other sister. Oh, what is her name? She has a very Italian name. It slips my mind. She sent me a CD. Thank you so much. I have been listening to that CD every single day. 1 minute. Or 1 second, I should say. Okay. It was Philomena. Thank you, Philomena, for sending me that CD. Every time I'm in my car, it's in my player. I'm moving, so I don't have a good stereo system set up to hear it properly in the house, so I'm always going in my car. I play it at home too, but I just have a little ghetto box. So, but what a great CD. I love Millie and her gangster boyfriend. I love I Want to Be a Mobster. And Frank, the funny thing about Frank is he was like a, not like a mobster, but he had a gangster quality about him that was really, like when he dressed with a fedora or a suit, he looked great. But he never had the heart of a gangster. He had the heart of a sweet angel, a sweet angel. But he could look like a gangster. And that was what was so attractive about him. And in closing, I guess, the most important reason I wanted to do this is to let everybody know that loves Frank, that there's another person out there that loves him too. And I miss him every day. I missed him when he was still here, when we would just talk on the phone, and I'll miss him more. But when I listen to his CD, I feel him with me. I do. He was a great boyfriend. When I did shows, he would always come, and he would always come to my shows when he could, if he wasn't working, and help the woman with her costumes, the lady that was in charge. Her name was Debbie Sternbach. Help her carry the costumes in and help her load them back in the car. And then when he would watch the show, he'd always be like hiding somewhere. I never knew where he was sitting, in a balcony or way in the, like, and I'd always be, I was dancing a lot of the time, looking around, where's Frank? And then finally I'd spot him and he'd wink, smile. And so I don't know if he did that on purpose or if he was just walking around and I happened to see him at that point. But I just want everyone to know, whoever watches this video, that I'll always love Frank. And there's really no force that can take that away from what we had together. There's really nothing that can take that love away. And that's why I'm sad a lot. But I have his pictures and I have his CD, and I want more CDs. Please contact me, anyone that has more CDs of Frank. I also wanted to thank his niece, Teresa's daughter, and I can't think of her name either. I'm just nervous doing this because she's the one who contacted me and let me know that Frank was sick. I think that he didn't want me to worry. He did put on Facebook to everyone that he was going in the hospital, so I responded to that, but he didn't make it sound like there was really, I don't know, it didn't sound like anything was really bad or wrong. Maybe he didn't want me to worry. I'm not sure why he didn't just call me directly and let me know. So I wanted to thank his niece, Teresa's daughter. I don't know, I can't think of her name. And I wish I could think of her name. Thank you. You know who you are. And you talked with me many times on the phone. I'm just a little bit distraught right now. And without you, I would have never known what was going on until I heard it from Facebook. And you said that to me when we spoke on the phone. And you spoke to me Angela, you spoke to me many times. And without you, I would be left in the dark, and I would have never been able to talk to Frank. Anyway, I'm getting emotional. So, love to the Castelano family, and God bless everyone who loved Frank, and God bless Frank. He's in God's arms, and that's where he belongs. And so, that's my me just saying what I feel about Frank. And God bless, and have a good day or a good night. Thank you.